What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Wizards Outlook. As you can see, we got Raymond Lyons here, Ricardo W. Jr. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And we're going to get straight to it, man. The final home game of this regular season for the Washington Wizards. It got kind of interesting late, but the Bulls held off the Wizards for the 129-127 win. Really good defense by the Bulls to protect the rim without fouling. But Washington was in this situation because of, rebounding or a failure to do so. The Bulls did a great job on the glass tonight. Washington, again, continuing that fight, that resolve they've had over the last 25 games of the season or whatnot. But the second chance points for the Bulls were crazy. Every time Washington was about to get a stop, someone got a rebound. Sanogo had 20-20 off the bench. I think that's his first 20-20 game in the NBA, which is ridiculous. There's a part of me where, that's great, but there's another part of me where Dama Sanogo should not be coming off the bench having a 20-20 game. You know what I'm saying? I can I can compartmentalize that. But for the Wizards, it was just a microcosm what's been happening all season, man. We know they're missing folks, but at the same time, the Bulls kept the majority of their rotation. Did not play in this game. This was a showcase for the youngsters, and we know both teams are different places with their youngsters. I was just encouraged before I pass it along. I thought Dalen Terry had a good night for Chicago. Got a chance to kind of stretch his legs a little bit and show what he can do. Dama Sanogo had a good night for Washington. Thought Butler was solid once again. And Patrick Baldwin Jr., I think, fouled up another. I think the last game they had, I thought it was probably his best defensive game he played. He had a double-double tonight. I think he's continued to find himself, finding a way to contribute on both ends of the floor. But, Cardell, we'll start with you then. Ray, just your thoughts on this one, man.
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's just a reflection of what the Wizards have been all season, man. It's just, just you having the game in your grasp and you kind of, making mental errors at the wrong time. The Denny free throw where he went 1 for 2 down the stretch, man. Then you calm it down. Pittsburgh got it right there, missed the layup. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they can't catch a break, man. And it's just reflective of their season, man. And it shows with the competitiveness of the youngsters. It shows they're heading in the right direction, but they still got a lot of work to do, and mostly up the little things, man. You know what I mean? And really, it just really this game came down. I know the execution laid down the stretch where the missed free throws and the missed layups, but the missed free throw thing was happening throughout the game. I think with the Wizards shoot, they shot 65% from the free throw line. You just make your free throws, the game is won. Just off that alone. But that's not even neither here nor there. For the most part, outside the first quarter, the games were close. The one quarter the Wizards lost, they got cold and Javonte Green torched them. You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's little things where the little lapses in focus and your mental toughness and stuff cost you games. And that's the difference in this league. It's the mental part. You know what I mean? So I love what I saw from youngsters, especially Patrick Baldwin. I haven't seen him play defense like this at all in his career. He was all over the place. You could tell he bro, I'm trying to stick, bro. I ain't trying to go back down there to the G or be back in the little free agent pool with my future uncertain, man. I'm trying to stick. And he balled, man. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 7 to 12, 3 to 7. This is what made him, when he was entering college, what made him what the people thought was like a lottery pick. You know what I'm saying? You saw it all come to fruition in this game, even though everybody was out, but still, he showed that he got it in him. The thing is, if the Wizards keep him, I'm not even sure what the situation is with his contract or what they're going to end up doing. Obviously, if he stays, man, he just got to be consistent and do that against the starters and the stars of the league and just try to be consistent in that aspect. Denny, I thought him and Corey Kispert were great in the backcourt for throughout the night, man. They were efficient. They did a little bit of everything. I both had 23 points. Denny was working on triple-double. I thought he was going to get it. I know he went a couple free throws back. But Corey Kispert bombed them from 3, 6 of 11. See, when you're on like that, I don't mind seeing you take that many 3-pointers when you're hitting. The problem is when you take 11 threes and you only hit 3. You see what I'm saying? Nah, player, You should have been with the plan B and switched to southpaw, man. What are you doing? So that's when they were shooting themselves out again early in the season. But for the most part, everyone stayed within themselves and played a good brand of ball. Johnny Davis, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He showed a spark. Tristan Vucevic, man, what can you say about that? The only thing holding him back is strength. Once he get the strength, it's a wrap, man. 19 points. You got to get them rebounds up, brother. You center, man, can't have one rebound. But other than that, say, yeah, he did his thing. Jared Butler, I mean, what can you say? There's a reason why he got the deal, man. It's a reason. He's the reason why he was pretty much the only one off the bench that really produced and whatnot. And that goes back to my other point. The second quarter, the little things, you got to go to the little intangible things as well. They got punished on bench points. Chicago outscored them 51-28. A lot of that had to do with Sanogo and Javon Carter, what they did off the bench. Also, rebounds, 56-39, Chicago way. I mean, it is way too many, way too many opportunities. And they had 17 offensive rebounds. The Wizards had 4. So that's way too many rebounds, and they still had a chance to win the game. That's what I mean by little things. Y'all got they have enough players that played enough big time basketball and understand. All right, we getting punished on the balls. We just got to sacrifice your body. Just get in there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like Wilson said, Adama Sanogo out of UConn. I know Wilson was happy to see that. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they're back-to-back NCAA champions. He was the starting center last year. My man can't have 22 and 20 off the bench, man. Nah, dog. Like, that's pride right there, man. Like, I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying? Like, 20 and 10 will eat at you. 22 and 20? Nah. It come on, man. That hurts if you start. My man came off the bench and did it. Nah, play. So the Wizards, I think we know where they need to go. We're gonna talk about it later. I think we got an idea where they should be looking in the draft. This is it's very clear. It's not on the perimeter at all. We need some beef in there. Pause. No Diddy, no homo, whatever you want to use. We need some. we need some centers in there, man. Like all that is cute. So you run into a Sanogo type dude, and everybody's bouncing off of him. He just, man, he looking like Moses Malone in the middle, dog, and that's what he looked like tonight. And you lost by 2. See, and that's what I mean, man. So they clean up the little things. Try to keep as much of this young core together as possible, man. Because I like what I'm seeing from the young core. They could have easily been on Cancun mode, and they wasn't. They competed down the stretch of the season. Gave the hometown team, the hometown crowd, just at least they can see them fighting. Instead of like early in the season, it was just like, dog. If y'all ain't want to play, y'all could have told us we could have stayed at home. You know what I'm saying? It was a much better effort. You can live with it. We know they head in the right directions. They're showing the effort. They could just clean up the little things, keep the chemistry, keep as much as young core as possible. So when they move on with the future, it's not a huge overhaul when you add a new piece and they got to figure each other out through most of next season. It's already a decent core from this team. If they can do that with the youngest growing up and stuff like that and draft well, possibly get a couple free agents, man, they can try to make a run forward where they can try to vastly improve from this season.
Right before I hand it over, I was going to say, UConn allegiances aside, he hasn't looked like college Sanogo the entire year, so this was not okay.
But the league would do that to you. you better advance your game quickly, or you won't be around much longer.
But no, man, I don't have too much to add. They get an A for effort, which is more than we can say for a lot of times previous this season. But like Cardell said, man, it just comes down to the little things. You missed 10 free throws in a 2-point game. That hurts tremendously. The execution down the stretch. Kispert couldn't finish the layup, and they pointed out on the broadcast he missed Tristan cutting to the basket. But I'm okay with how it played out. He got a good look at it, but and then of course how they got punished on the glass. But it's just a level of professionalism you got to have And and credit to the young guys, they've been showing it, man. They coming out here and actually trying to win games. You know, yeah, that spirit was non-existent for a good chunk of this season, man, and that's why their record is what it is. So yeah, it's good to come down the stretch with at least a glimpse of positivity. Um, they got some things to work with, man. It's not the most talented team, but guys are improving. Kispert, looking at where he has come since he's been a rookie, he's added some things to his game. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's not just spotting up, and guys are able to close out hard on him and he can't do anything. On the defensive side, he's gone from food to, just an appetizer. He's able to at least provide some resistance. But no, on a serious note, man, he's been able to improve on that end, as opposed to, just being relentlessly attacked. So you gotta, at this point, you definitely gotta point out the small gains, because yeah, man, they're looking at who deserves to be a part of this thing moving forward and who they got to get up out of here. So yeah, man, guys are auditioning for other teams. I'm just glad that that we actually have something to talk about on these recaps instead of they just went out there and laid down. So yeah, man, it's good to see those young guys get their shot and take advantage. And they really kept that energy all season, to be perfectly honest with you. But now that they're getting the bulk of the minutes, since the season's winding down and guys are just aren't playing, it's good to see what they can do with like, it's not just coming in spurts when when the other team is basically already in victory formation. So yeah, that's always a positive, and I'm kind of excited to see what happens, man, with the first full off season with the new front office. And like we said, we got some young pieces to work with here. So yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting summer.
For
Real quick
sure.
before you start, Wilson, let me ask y'all too. If y'all were the GM, y'all was winging all those guys, Dolphins, would you keep Keith as the coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small sample size, but they seem to have responded to him. Like, the fight that they've shown recently is a world of difference than what they started the season with. So I mean, I think he's earned a little. I think he's earned a shot. Just to see what can happen from here.
Yeah, I echo Ray's sentiments. They responded to him. There got to be something in that. The fact we watch people we know don't play defense, people out here scrapping and fighting for their lives on that end of the floor for like the last 15, 20 games, whatever season changed. So, yeah, I think he gets first crack at it next year. I think that's the safest way to go about it because they do respond to it.
Yeah, I wish y'all. I feel the same way. They responded. I just hope it ain't a deal because it's the end of the season and they don't have a solid situation moving forward. And I gotta play hard because I want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhere. I hope it ain't that type of deal. Um, but I'm a big believer in a continuation. I hate when it's just changes. You can never that never works, man. It's just tough. I don't care how great you are, how great the coach staff is. You always got to get acclimated, and that takes time. And when you always have constant change, it's hard to work with. It's hard to build. It's hard to build that chemistry, and you need chemistry to win it in any league at any level. So, yeah, I think he should get the shot.
All right, player of the game for you guys in this one.
The logo, man, you gotta give it to him. 22 and 20. Boy, looking like Moses Malone. Like I'm going to be on this roster next year. I'm going to starts. He's hungry out here.
X Factor.
And Javon Carter.
Yeah,
That's the other one off the Bulls bench that met 20 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the thing,
For
man.
sure.
4 of 8 3. And he's not even known as a shooter, but he was 4 of 8 today. That's what I'm saying, man. Like little things, it catches up. It always come back to bite you.
people trying to seize these opportunities can't get mad at it. Area 11 team, some comments. Appreciate you as always. Why didn't Johnny Davis play in the fourth? It's kind of crazy. And Vuk, talk about Vukovic, it's going to be a problem.
You can go ahead and start writing. Let me check out why. I'm gonna try to see.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have an answer for that. He was playing well. But yeah, that's something only the coaching staff can speak on, to be perfectly honest. Um, and yeah, he's like I said, man, only thing he missing, gotta get in that weight room, buddy. Once that piece comes, it's gonna be issues.
Cardell.
Well, looking at it, the full quarter box, Denny and Kingsbury with the start backcourt, they play well. I think that's why. And I think the Bulls kind of went big too, Javante and Kobe a little bit, but yeah, Corey played well in the fourth. He had 12 points, 3 or 4 from deep in that, and 3 rebounds in the fourth. And Denny, he had 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Like and on 3 or 4 shooting. You know what I mean? Like they were hooping, and then it's hard to argue because they was giving them results, so it's hard to argue with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes it is what it is, but all in all, man, he had a good game. Johnny did, so you can't take nothing away from him. But I think they were just trying to last home game. Let's get this win. So they rolled with their horses.
Yeah, to echo you guys' sentiments. Like, I think Kobe's on the floor. Like for Chicago, then you had Dalen, who's a really big guard. You had Sanogo with some size. I just think, as you guys mentioned, I just think they were trying to keep some size on the court. And you got the luxury of having your backcourt, and you can turn it to your backcourt being, as Cardell mentioned, Denny and Kispert. Still have PBJ out there with Vooch and whatnot. Like, bro, they just needed some size, man. And they was getting results. They just didn't finish the job. Last comment was Denny is a keeper. He was the only one pissed off after the loss. If he takes another step, we may have something.
We've been saying that about Denny. We said if he get out his own head, he's a player, man. He's shown flashes throughout his career. I think this is his most consistent season, obviously, and it's good to see that he played his best basketball of his career once he got the deal. Instead of playing his best basketball, then he get the deal, then he drops off. You see so many players do that, and I call them the CTC players, cut the check. Once they get the check, they don't do nothing no more. Then when the contract year come out, they hoop again. Then they don't do nothing again for the next few years. It's too many players like that, man. And what people don't understand about Denny, first time I seen Denny was at top 100 camp. His natural game is like a point forward type of game. So putting him at point guard was actually smart. So you got 6'9", 6'10" point guard tonight, and that's why he always ended with a triple-double. CO everybody. He's comfortable. He got little midgets trying to block his shots. He's shooting on them. He got the size advantage. He get it down. We all know he can defend as well, versatile defender. Look, man, when he stays out of his way, he's a hell of a player. And that's why I was saying, earlier, a few shows back, going into the off season, their strength is at the wings. Him and Kuz. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their strength. The center is I like what I'm seeing out of Vucevic, but they need some strength inside. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna get far in the East dealing with Embiid and Giannis and the boys, man. With lightweights, it just ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many threes you make. Because you're going to foul your whole starting five out. And you're going to have Cruz and Denny trying to guard them, then they're going to foul out, then you just get blown out by 20. So, shore that up. It depends on what they're going to do with the backcourt, if Ty's going to stay or whatnot, man. But they really got to get some pieces inside. They really got to do that. And I mean a reliable starting big that they are moving forward. They working with this young core. They really got to identify that. Could possibly be in this draft. You just don't know. I know people saying draft is terrible. I don't ever believe a draft is terrible. You just got to know how to evaluate. It's not going to be no-brainers like a Wembanyama type player or when Luka and them boys came in, Zion. It's not going to always be no-brainers like that, man. Sometimes you got to know what you're looking at. And sometimes it may not even be getting the best talent. Like this guy fits what we're like, when Detroit Pistons drafted Tayshaun Prince or something. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he was talented, but he fit what they were trying to build, and that resulted in the championship. And he paid big dividends, like for him. You know what I'm saying? So he had to be the stopper. He had to be the defensive guys for the Kobe's and all those guys when they made a championship run. The big block on Reggie Miller and stuff like that comes to mind. So Sometimes it's just about getting the best fit for your situation, and that can uplift your team because you don't have that and you can't find that in free agency. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm they have something, whereas coming in the season is like just pray, man, just fight through it, baby, fight through it. You know what I'm saying? But they have something moving forward, man. And with the new front office, I'm optimistic. Obviously, their track record speaks for itself. So with a strong draft and free agency and all that stuff like that, and also you don't know who's going to pop up in summer league that you may not even think of that might get signed. They can possibly make some noise moving in next season. Because like I don't know what's the play in. Like I think the Bulls got the last spot in the East, but the play in for the East, yeah, I know the Hawks do 36 wins. That's pretty much. I mean, that's 20. I mean, come on, man. That's 21 more wins if they get the right pieces. The Wizards can do that next season. They can be fighting for a play-in, and that's improvement. That's what you want to see year to year. So they just got to make some smart decisions with the roster and who they pick up.
Right? Did you have anything you want to piggyback off on that?
I mean, no, Cardell laid it out, but just people keep in mind that Denny's still only 23 years old, man. So it's still a lot of room to grow on top of the improvements he's already shown. So, I mean, he's showing that he's trending upward. Just be patient. And right now it's just up to him, whether he's going to maximize his potential or not.
The majority of the Wizards, there's only 2 players 30 or above. The rest of the Wizards are in their mid to low 20s. That's what people don't understand. And we said all this about the young players, and guess what? We didn't bring up Bilal Coulibaly in the future. We didn't even bring him up.
Not once.
That's you see what I'm saying? So we all like him. We all can see where he could become. You know what I'm saying? As he grows. So they got some pieces, man. We got some pieces, man. Just make the right decision. The cupboard's not bare, is what I'm trying to say. So they got something to build on.
Yeah, and I think before we get off, I think the most important thing you said, and I know fans don't want to hear it, is that fit, man. It's the fit. It's honest to God, it's the fit. And then you can pivot afterwards, but the fit. You can always pivot to the other things, but the fit.
Yeah.
So sometimes, I think people get kind of blindsided, like, oh, we need this, and that's great, and that's wonderful. It might not be time for you to fulfill that need in the draft. Might be time to fulfill a different need, and you pivot. Who knows what they end up taking, and whatever they end up taking might mean you have a surplus somewhere else, and you can package something with something else to go get the thing that you need, or you might have a better shot at something that you needed that you weren't even thinking about. But again, the fit is everything, man.
Like, think about it. Let's say they get the number 1 pick. Last time I said, let's say they get the number 1 pick just for they going for a center. Do you draft the SAR kid from overseas? Do you draft Flanagan from UConn? Do you look at like another big like Filipowski from Duke? You see what I'm saying? Like, which one would you go with? SAR might need a little bit more potential because he's young, coming up from the international. Or do you go with Flanagan? Got 2 rings on his belt, seems to be ready to go, at least defensively and rebounding, where you're drastically very weak at. You see what I'm saying? You might have to roll with that. I need that right now because he fits better with what we have because of the weaknesses we have on the perimeter as far as defending the ball and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Just that addition boosts your whole team. Because you may not have time to wait for SAR to get to that point. Because it's going to take time. It's an adjustment period coming over here. You know what I mean? So, and Filipowski, he might be better offensively, but you got enough firepower. We already said that throughout the season. You got enough firepower. They lost the game tonight because they couldn't rebound the ball.
Yep.
They need somebody that can do that dirty work. And that's 7-2, blocking shots. And it's not like he can't score either. So it's just tough decision to be made if they go that direction. And I'm just giving you an example of how they got to look at things, man.
And that's the thing. We look forward to talking to you guys on Sunday. Then probably, after that, keep an eye out. We'll take some time, debrief, have a debriefing session on the season, which you guys get all your questions out, and we'll try to project forward or what have you. And then obviously we'll talk with you guys again after the draft. Should be fun during this offseason. So don't forget, you guys have, if it turns into something where y'all got a lot y'all want to talk about, hit the comment section. Let us know. Hit Twitter. Let us know. It takes nothing to get some time together, sit down and talk with you guys. We appreciate you guys' support all season long. And we'll see y'all one more time on Sunday. Y'all have a great night.